Hi guys, Dorothy here, professional astrologer. You can find me on the web at nhastrologer.com, here on YouTube, and my Facebook page, Dorothy Morgan Astrologer. So today I'm going to talk to you about October 1st, the week of October 1st. What's going on at the end of the week is the biggest news of all, and that is Venus is retrograde. So this whole week she's slowing down to go stationary. What does all that mean? I know people have heard a lot about it already because there's a lot of hype. Us astrologers have been mentioning it and talking about this Venus retrograde all year long because it doesn't happen all the time. It's an 18-month occurrence. So it's a little rare, especially in the sign of Scorpio. And then she moves back into Libra. What does all that mean? I'm gonna hash it out with you, speak to you in English about it, not astrologies, and don't go anywhere. And I'll be right back. All right, guys, welcome back. Thank you. And I want a big thank you to all of the people who viewed that video I did for last week. That was the biggest hitting video I've ever had in my 9 years. Well, I think the first one I did went viral, but other than that, in my 9 years of doing videos, 704 videos I have on my channel so far. This one has done the best. So thank you to everybody who watched, everybody who shared, put my video in your playlists. And to all the new subscribers, welcome, welcome. So I don't usually take this much time in the beginning, but needless to say, let's get to the astrological news for the week of October 1st. So thank you very much. And let's get started. All right, on October 1st, in the middle of the day, the moon does enter the sign of Cancer. That means all day Monday morning, the moon is what we call void of course. So you're going to go to work. If Monday's your first day of the week for work, it might take a little bit to get going. We may even feel like staying home. When the moon's in Cancer, we tend to want to stay home and just feel a little more comforted than going out into work if work isn't home, right? I work from home, so that won't impact me. If you work from home, probably won't impact you, but you may have more things to do at home than work. So we're focusing a lot Monday and into Tuesday about being home and what we need at home. That is different for everybody. So what are you doing? Monday and Tuesday, all about home, family, and focusing in on those needs that we have. Don't push them aside. Do the best you can to take care of yourself or your family in what is needed. It's not good to push it aside, especially when the moon is in the sign of Cancer. Now, that's Monday and Tuesday and almost all of Wednesday, the moon in Cancer. Now, we also have, moving on to Tuesday, October 2nd, the Mercury is in Libra, and it is squaring off with Pluto in Capricorn. This energy has a lot to do with really those deep, serious conversations. If you've had something weighing heavy on your mind and you need to talk it out, to hash things through, then the pressure most likely has gotten to a point where you need to say something, because saying something and moving beyond that fear of saying something is easier than carrying the weight of whatever's on your mind. And that's how that may play out for some people individually. Now, we may see things on the news where secrets, that's Pluto, deep, private, quiet things have come to the surface. We're seeing that a lot in the political field right now, and that is going to continue forward. That's what Tuesday's all about. Speaking your truth, speaking up where you feel you need to speak up to claim back your own power. And again, personal for some, not everybody, and we'll get to see that out in the world around us and in the news. Moving on to Wednesday, the moon enters Leo, back into the signs where all the eclipses have been, especially the ones in the summer, last year, in the winter. Needless to say, when the moon's in Leo for a little while still, we're going to be reminded of what was going on during the eclipses, July 27th, August 11th. Those dates are when the eclipses were happened here, and so this year anyways. And so when the moon moves through Leo, that happens. So when the moon is in Leo, it's going to start triggering all of those eclipse points, and it's going to be triggering things such as Uranus in Taurus. What we have for Wednesday is a lot of that energy. So Wednesday is a day where we can feel a lot more fiery than when we felt the day before with the moon in Cancer, which is just about caring and nurturing and all the things I just said. Moon in Leo is fiery. It's like the heat of the summer, right? We have a lot of fire. When we're emotional about something, we're going to debate it, we're going to argue, we're going to show how passionate we are about whatever it is being brought up within us. And again, if you have things that are connected to those eclipses, especially this summer, then this is coming to a head as well. Especially on Wednesday, starts on Wednesday evening actually, and especially on Thursday, because on Thursday the moon will be opposite Mars and squaring Venus. We're getting to Venus now. Venus is slowing down to retrograde, and she'll retrograde on Friday, which is tomorrow the 5th. So with the moon connecting with Mars, this masculine energy who is still near the eclipse points itself, from last summer, it is really bringing back up to the surface the things we were dealing with during July and August of this year, 2018. And that happened. The reason that's important, the moon's opposite Mars once a month, but the reason it's important right now is because Mars is near those eclipse points. All right. So we have these things that continue to rise within us as the planets move. This is what retrograde energy is all about. When things move forward, we have an opportunity to work on things when planets retrograde, because retrogrades get such a negative feel around it. When they retrograde, we get an opportunity to go deeper and see and gain more insight. That was Mars retrograde through the summer. And now that Mars is moving back to where it was, when it began its retrograde, we finally have a chance to implement the insight that we've gained during the summer eclipses and during the summer while Mars was retrograde. And today, the whole reason I went down that little rabbit hole is because today, actually the 3rd and the 4th of October, Wednesday and Thursday, the moon is triggering all of those things. All right? Good. So don't make a problem where you don't have one. All right, this is what I'm going to start off with when I'm talking about Venus in Scorpio, because she's in Scorpio now. And I want you to know, don't create a problem if you don't have one. This information, this is general information. It does not mean everybody goes through everything that I'm talking about, okay? It's just really important. I feel like I'm scolding you. I'm sorry, I'm not. Sometimes I get I get in a ruffle about just some of the such negative stuff everybody thinks is going on. Now, relationships and money is what Venus in Scorpio is going to be bringing up for us. She will retrograde on Friday, October 5th. Now, with this retrograde, there are multiple things that can come up. Venus, first off, is about what we value, what we love. That's the general feeling and energy of Venus, right? When she rules Libra, which she'll retrograde back into, and we'll talk about that when she gets to that point. But Venus rules relationships, those intimate, important relationships. Not just our spouse or significant other. It is also the people that you're very, very close to. Not friends, but your best friend. That person that's in your inner circle. I have boatloads of friends. So do we all. But look at who is really in your inner circle. All right? That's where the Venus in Scorpio retrograde will have impact. In those types of relationships. Now, we also need to talk about the Scorpio aspect. Scorpio has everything to do with going in deep, being obsessive, really wanting to understand things on the deepest level possible. Things that are quiet, things that are private, things that we will do privately with ourselves or one other person. Now, Scorpio also rules 8th house things, and 8th house things have to do with finances and resources that we get to use that aren't necessarily our own, like we're investing money, or spouse's money that we all get to cooperate with and use. All right? Loans, taxes, inheritances, things like that. So with this Venus in Scorpio, and as she's retrograde, what will come up is, let's hit the financial piece first. Everybody's always talking about finances and relationships. That's the number one thing I get questions about, right? So the financial piece is pay attention to your finances. Make sure that you're in the, not in the red, in the black. Make sure that you have what you need. This is an opportunity while Venus is retrograde to make sure that you're not missing anything and you're not overextending yourself. If you have doubt about making a large purchase right now, then you wait until the beginning of next year. And I mean it that long. I want you to wait, because sometimes we will overextend ourselves as Venus, through credit, Venus retrograde in Scorpio. All right? So make sure you take your time, do your research. If you have to purchase, make a big purchase, you have to. But if you don't have to, then it's best just to do research right now, and then later, beginning of next year, January forward, haven't looked that deep into it, but I know by then Venus will be clear of the retrograde energy. So by January, then you'll have all the information you need to make the big purchases that you're looking for. All right, that's one piece. Okay, so we're going to move on to Venus in Scorpio and in her retrograde and what it means for relationships. And in a nutshell, it really comes down to we're working through karma with the people that we're intimately involved with. Again, remember, like I mentioned just a minute ago, your spouse, your significant other, really, really close friends, you know, those inner circle people. All right. These folks are either going to help you to go through some psychological things or some really deep, intense emotional things. They will help you. One or all of them can help you move up. It's just kind of like a volcano in a way, how it comes really deep from the earth and then it comes to the surface and then it comes out. So this is the process that's happening right now with that Venus in Scorpio, where we're going as deep as we can. That level is different for everybody. We're going as deep as we can in what it is that we love and value. And this typically comes through partnerships and relationships, since Venus is involved. And when she retrogrades on Friday, the 5th of October, this is when we feel the tension the most. If you have some issues or concerns with a partner or significant other in your life right now, then this weekend is the weekend that you should just, have some space. Don't be picking at each other. Don't be arguing with each other. Don't be doing anything like that. Just allow these things. They're going to simmer and stew. But if you can work through these things intimately, quietly, privately on your own, it will be a little more healthier than trying to hammer it out with the other person. I know it's not good to hold things down. I get it. But for a couple of days, right around October 5th, we're going to be feeling the tension of this, just like something is about to pop, something's about to explode. So Venus in Scorpio, especially in her retrograde motion, is going to last for quite a few weeks. And what this is doing for us, and it moves back into Libra later in October. And I think later October, let me check. Does she move back? Yes, she does. The end of October. She moves back into Libra, the sign of relationships. So, in a nutshell, there's a lot of intense feelings going on in partnerships. There is a lot of karma between relationships. If you're meeting somebody new or reconnecting with somebody from your past, this is typically a karmic relationship, which means you have things to clear up with each other. Now, this is also a wonderful time for people to really connect. You're not going to hear most people say this. I personally feel it is a wonderful time, if you're in a healthy relationship, to really connect with somebody, because that's going to give you that deep soul connection. So the soul has a lot to do with all of this, because that Scorpio goes so deep that it wants a change from the absolute root of your being. And it wants that transformation to happen. So intimate, private, personal relationships over the next 6-7 weeks and even beyond are going to go through their this is a natural transformation. All right? Now, we also have for Saturday and Sunday the moon in Virgo. And while the moon's in Virgo, this is us becoming particular and picky. So Venus stationing in Scorpio, we are going to be focused on the deeper things in life. When the moon moves into Virgo Friday night, all of Saturday and Sunday, then we're going to we could get very nitpicky, but knowing what those details are with that moon in Virgo, while Venus is stationary in Scorpio, we're going to be able to start to categorize things, what that are important for us. This is so deep. If you need personal input on this, you can reach me at my website, nhastrologer.com, and we can go from there. All right, guys, I'm going to leave you with that. Thank you very much. And once again, thank you for joining me here, especially for the new subscribers. And blessings. Namaste.